Hanover is a small town in the middle of the Great Karoo, 50 kilometers south of Colesberg, on the N1. 15 kilometers east of the town is the entrance to the Karoo Nature Reserve. Nieuwholm, which is a working farm, has the main lodge in this reserve. It was originally a stud farm for racehorses. The previous horse stables have been converted into comfortable units which can now sleep 27 guests. There is also a self-catering log cabin and tented accommodation. The premises are well kept and are visitor friendly. At Nieuwholm, they offer game drives looking for the shy five as well as Karoo bird watching. The farm is protecting the blue crane. Before our first game drive, we assembled in the dining hall and then drove off in a safari vehicle. Our first sighting was a puff adder. We passed some eland and also a small herd of buffalo. We also spotted some Karoo birds whilst bird watching. The white-bellied and blue koran are prolific. To date, 230 bird species have been recorded on the farm. We stopped for sundowners at the Cecile River, where we witnessed a glorious sunset over the water. A spread was laid out and we tucked in, while enjoying the peace and quiet of the hippo pool. Although not one of the shy five, a hippo made its appearance. It was quite dark by this time, but we could still get a glimpse. On our way back to the lodge, we saw the first of the shy five we had come to look for, a bat-eared fox. A sumptuous dinner awaited us at the lodge. Afterwards, we went on our first night drive and could cross two more of the five shy of our list with the help of a spotlight, aardvark and aardwolves who were active in the veld. The aardvarks search for prey, mainly termites, with their pig-like noses. They have strong claws and can dig up to 2 feet in 15 seconds. The following morning we were ready at 6 a.m. for the first game drive of the day. We drove along a fence in search of birds. To date, 230 bird species have been recorded on the farm. We saw some swallows and a variety of lark species. There are 31 species of lark in southern Africa, of which 16 are endemic and 10 near endemic. Although they look very much alike, their calls and displays are sufficiently unique to allow for easier identification. We also search for birds amongst the cattle and sheep. Time for a coffee break. It is also refreshment time for a small flock of grey-backed larks. Although it is a semi-desert, the Karoo veld has its own charm. Thousands of ant hills are scattered over the veld. The aardwolf is a subspecies of the hyena, but not carnivorous. Its main diet is harvest termites. The aardwolf can consume up to 30,000 ants in a night, and it needs 3,000 anthills in its territorial area to survive. Other creatures also make use of anthills for sun gazing and as a handy lookout point. Back at the lodge, we were once again treated to a splendid breakfast. Afterwards, it was rest time, and we could explore the premises and watch the orphan lambs and eland enjoy their breakfast. On the afternoon game drive, the puff adder we had discovered the previous day was released back into the veld. A tortoise makes a hasty retreat. Some more birds. We drove to a neighboring farm where there are Khoisan engravings. PC, farmer, driver and guide, gave us information about some of the Karoo plants, like the kapok bush. On our 1 kilometer walk to the Khoisan engravings, PC pointed out a dusty passage between two copies. He drew our attention to some Khoisan artifacts.
So now you can still argue that they're just pieces of rock lying around,
as well as artifacts from the Anglo-Boer War. Both sides used the location as a rendezvous. This area also contains many aardvark holes.
The ones we saw last night, they were just walking and eating ants off the surface. So that's the easiest way.
About 27 other species make use of aardvark holes. Aardvark do not completely destroy an ant heap, but leave enough for the colony to restore their nest. The likes of aardvark droppings. Khoisan like to stay between elevated copies, and we saw good examples of their engravings on the rocks. Iron rock is usually used for the engravings. An engraving of a hippo helped PC, the farmer, obtain a permit to import more hippos, as this was proof that hippos had lived there in the past. We continue our walk in the direction of the Sekwe River. Where Pisu demonstrates the use of a Bushman millstone. He also produces different levels of sound from a Bushman gong. These gongs are scattered all over Africa, from the south to the north. A cold front was moving in, and a full moon guided us home. Another sumptuous dinner awaited us. The cold front had arrived, and we did not see much game on the night drive, as animals are not very active in cold weather. We did see some spring hare and small buck. The next morning on our drive, we concentrated mainly on looking for water birds along the Sekwe River. A hot coffee break was welcome. After the drive, we were once again treated to a delicious breakfast and had rest time before the afternoon drive, where we saw some more water birds. That night it was too cold for an outside braai, so we had an inside braai. On our final night drive, we saw number 5 of the Shy 5, a porcupine, the biggest rodent in Africa. We arrived back from our drive just in time to join the other guests to watch the finals of the Rugby World Cup. It was a suitable ending to a successful Karoo weekend. Although we saw only 4 of the Shy 5, missing number 5, the hedgehog, it was a worthwhile and lovely experience.